I always hated how Christmas ornaments lose their little ornament caps, so today I designed a key cut version that's replaceable. And I'm going to show you how to use it on any 3D model you want to turn into a holiday ornament. I know we're all sort of getting in that holiday mode, and today I'm going to show you how to make pretty much holiday ornaments out of any of your 3D models. Did you ever look at any of your 3D models and go, wow, that would look great on a Christmas tree? Well, today we're turning any 3D model into a holiday ornament. Even random 3D models you forgot on your desktop. And I'm going to show you 3 different ways to do it, from simplest to more complicated. And I'm going to show you how to do it right in Nomad Sculpt, but you could take the same principle and do it in Bambu Lab Studio, Blender, or any 3D modeling software you like. 2 of the ways are quick, easy, and one's a little more complicated, but they'll make your tree look like a shrine to your inner maker spirit. So grab your stylus, grab some hot cocoa, your favorite festive filament. Let's make your model merry and bright. Now let's get into Nomad Sculpt. So we have our goblin. Yes, he's going to become our ornament. And I'm going to show you basically 3 ways, simplest to most advanced. Obviously, the easiest one is to just go in and add a torus. Let's just move that out of the way. So make that big enough. The thing with the torus is we need it to be thick enough and long enough, right? So we're going to go in here, and if we just look, let's just move this over so you can see a little better. If we look at the inner radius and the outer radius. So if I affect the outer radius, I'm just making the circle bigger. If I affect the inner radius, I'm making it much thicker. Okay, so we want it to be relatively thick, you know, because thick is going to be good here, because remember, it is going to be hanging from this part. So we want to make it, you know, thick enough where it's going to work, right? So let's make this pretty thick. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go back here, and we're going to actually stretch out the torus a little bit. Now we're just going to take this torus, and you guessed it, we're just going to move it onto our goblin. Get it lined up to where we want. And now we have our really simple hanging Christmas hook. Okay, that's way number 1. Super, super simple. The second way is going to be a little more festive, right? This is just pretty much a U sticking on top of his head. Okay, the second way is let's make this look a little bit more ornamental. So first we're going to go in and we're going to add a cylinder. Same thing, we're going to scale the cylinder up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add our torus. And it's the same sort of concept, and we're just going to start scaling this up. And it's the same thing. We want it to be relatively thick, because we want it to be pretty stable and have a lot of strength. Right now, you're starting to see where I'm going with this. It's starting to look like the top of a Christmas ball. Pretty straightforward, right? So next what we're going to do is we're going to clone our cylinder right here. And we're just going to slide it down for a second. Now we're just going to we're going to click on that cylinder. And we're going to change the radius. Make it a little longer. And this is basically our second way. And you can make this piece look as fancy as you want. You could draw on this. You can make it really look ornamental, like a standard Christmas bulb top. And I am going to make these available for download on probably my website and possibly some other sites like Maker World. So I'll throw the links in the description. Now, once I have all these, what I want to do is just grab these. I'm going to want to do a voxel remesh, so that way they're all one piece. Actually, what just happened here? Hold on. Let's just undo that. Let's just look at this real quick. Up. And we want to just up the resolution on this. Because it was looking that's a little too high. Probably in the 400 somewhere. And then let's do our voxel remesh. And now we got our nice clean top. We're going to grab this. We're going to bring it over to our goblin real quick. And let's get it where we want. And now we're just going to put it in here. And now we have our goblin Christmas tree ornament with an actual hook. And like I said, you can make this as fancy as you want. We have our goblin with our hook. So this is our second ornament. Now our third one, we're going to keep this for a second. First, we're just going to add another cylinder. And let's just make that larger than our upper cylinder, okay? But we don't want it to be so big that it won't fit inside this goblin's head, okay? Because we're going to make a locking mechanism. So right here we have our cylinder. Let's just turn this off because we're going to want to make that a little thicker. Just try to get everything lined up so we can work on it. Okay. May want to make this a little bit thicker. Hold on. Or a little bit taller, I should say. There we go. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to add a box. I'm going to bring him up here because here's where we want to work. Now, what we're going to want to do, let's just move this out of the way. We're going to want to take this box, we're going to line it up, and this is almost going to act like a key to lock in. And what I'm going to do, let me hide this goblin so you can see a little bit better. Okay. So now we have our little key that's going to lock in. We want this to be a little bit thicker, because we don't want things to be so fragile that they break. We are going to need it a little smaller. And this is going to be our key that's going to lock into this piece. So, looks pretty good. Let's just grab this and our original cylinder, and let's move them. This is going to pretty much go in here. Now, this may need to be a little bit bigger, which is okay. I think I need a new Apple Pencil. I've been saying that in like the last 5 videos, but that is sort of how life works. Yes. So now what we're going to want to do is we're going to take all this, let's turn our goblin back on, and we're going to move all of it into our goblin. Now we're going to start creating our cuts and keys. And I am going to make this available for everyone. So we want to make sure it's not sticking out of our goblin's head, which it looks pretty good. It looks like it is not, which is great. So basically this looks like the same thing, right? Except now what we're going to do is pretty much each of these items I'm going to clone. But first we're going to take our goblin and we can go in here. I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong. There we go, sorry. And we're going to go into blending and we're going to turn down the opacity. And that is so we're able to see what we're doing here, okay? Let's turn him off. Oh, hold on. Let's grab this and our box real quick. And let's smooth those out. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is hide the cylinder. Turn it on though. Then I'm going to turn on our goblin. Okay. Now I'm going to do a voxel remesh, and it's going to cut a hole in the goblin's head. So we're going to take our box and our cylinder. We're going to voxel remesh these, and let's just bring the resolution up to about 400. And let's voxel remesh them. Now I'm going to just clone this whole thing. So I'm going to make it slightly bigger. Okay. Now I'm going to drop that straight in, and we're going to make sure everything is aligned because it is going to sit in this hole. Then I'm going to be able to turn it and notch it in. So now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go here. We're going to turn off this box. We're going to grab our goblin. We're going to do our voxel remesh. Let's just bring our goblin back to full opacity real quick. So you can see, here we go. We got our cut. But now I still need, do you see how this key has to fit all the way in there? So I need to make one more cut. So what I'm going to do is add another box. Okay. Let's bring our box up. Let's bring it over here because it needs to be a very similar size to this. So it needs to be slightly bigger than our box here. Okay, now let's just go back to our goblin. Turn down his opacity so we want to see. Now we need to make sure this box is hitting the cutout. And that looks pretty good. So what we're going to do is we're going to do another voxel remesh. Now we have our opening for our key. Now, if we really want to get fancy, so I want to take this piece. I'm going to, once again, clone it. Once again, scale it up. Now, I'm going to take my clone. Let's make sure I got the right one. Yep, box one. I'm going to put it in the hole. Right? Now, this is the sort of tricky part. You see he's opaque. You see how that box is going one way? I'm trying to get you guys a really good view. So I want to take this. Let's just grab this again. I want to slightly move it up. Slightly, ever so slightly. Okay. Now, I'm going to rotate this. Now, I'm going to do one more voxel remesh. So we're going to hide this. We're going to bring our goblin back. And we're going to do our voxel remesh. Okay. So now, when I drop this in, there's going to be a little notch for this to sit in. Let's bring him back to full opacity. And there you have it. There is the hole that that key is going to fit in. Okay, let's get this printed and see what it looks like. Make sure to clean out any internal supports or your little connector won't make it. So I like to clean out all my supports with a dental pick. And if you don't want to design your own ornament tops, I'll put a link to the STLs in the description. And that's it, your 3D prints are ready to deck the halls, well, at least your maker workshop. And a loop, scale it right, and instant holiday magic. If you make one, tag me, I want to see your geeky holiday ornaments lighting up the season. Now go fire up the printer, spread some filament fueled cheer, and I'll see you on the next build. For more on 3D printing, DIY, and maker projects, make sure you like and follow Maker Build It, and remember, keep on making. Oh, and remember, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. I'm gonna go get these little guys on my tree. I'm sure my wife is gonna love it.